So with the Season of Mastery for Classic WoW very quickly being updated and pushed by Blizzard, I figured I would talk about 5 changes that I would love to personally see. Now I have discussed this a bit in my Discord, so if you want to get into further talk/deeper discussions, make sure to join in. One change I would love to see would be for the PvP system. We all know how crazy the rank 14 grind can be, and really just how big of a time investment it is. Now I'm not suggesting they change the PvP system entirely, instead they should consider the season side of things. It looks like Blizzard really wants Classic WoW to be a yearly game, with every year resetting and having players restart. So I think it would be a cool idea to have rank 14 push over into other seasons. For example, if you do the rank 14 grind in Season 1, you'd be able to buy the items in Season 2 and so on without actually having to hit rank 14 in those seasons. Now I know this sounds pretty crazy, but I think it's a good idea. The time investment for rank 14 is insane, and I think having players who want that top end gear do that every single season is a bit nuts. I feel like it's pretty fair that if you did that grind once, you're good to go from now on. And if that doesn't sound solid, then I would love to see a change to the system as a whole so we don't have to do that grind every single season. Since we touched on systems/items carrying over the seasons, one change I think would be cool would be a mount tab. So for example, I get the Raptor mount in Season 1, it isn't just done and gone for Season 2, I could still use that bitchin' ass mount. Not only that, it would make me really want to grind out specific mounts. For example, the one from Stratholme, or even the Alliance Winter Spring mount. It would make it feel like an actual achievement and not just a cool bonus that I got for that specific season of Classic WoW. Speaking of mounts, I think a good addition would be dual specs in Classic WoW. Now what does that have to do with mounts? Absolutely nothing. But as a druid player, I have found myself in a position many times where I would have to go respec, tank a dungeon or two, and then go back and respec to boomy for raids. Or even off-healing a dungeon as a boomy, where it wasn't necessarily tough, but if I was full spec in the restoration, it would have made things a lot smoother. I think having dual specialization would be a huge bonus to the game and just make life easier for people overall. Instead of having to dish out gold every time and redo my talent/bars for a dungeon, I could just easily click a button and be completely set to tank that dungeon. On top of that, I think this would make forming groups a lot easier, with players being able to switch specs and fill a role that is necessary. If my guild is doing a dungeon and we have 2 healers, one could just switch to DPS and everything is fine. On top of that, if you're a PvPer, it would make it a bit easier to switch to your PvP spec and hop into a random battleground. I'm really trying to think of the negatives to having dual specs in Classic, and I'm having trouble coming up with some, so if you can think of some, please let me know in the comment section down below. Now I don't know if this necessarily counts as a game change, however I would love to see Blizzard take the old school RuneScape approach and allow votes to take place for changes within the game. I really think making the game seasonal brings in a great opportunity to have the community vote on changes from season to season, eventually making the game that we as a whole would love to play. On top of this, I think having a vote go out and not just going based on community feedback, let's say for example in forums, would actually be a way better choice. There is a silent majority, and I think this would be a great way to have their voices heard. Another change I would like to see is simply changes to the bosses themselves. Now Blizzard has spoken on the subject and talked about increasing boss health and possibly seeing mechanics that were actually removed from bosses. I don't think that having longer boss fights is a good thing and makes the game fun. It's the same thing but longer. The mechanics side of things would be a huge bonus though, and could possibly breathe new life into Classic WoW. For example, imagine if Baron had an ability that did ground fire damage, almost like Void Zones with Netherspite. So not only did you have to be conscious of the bomb and move away from the raid itself had to be careful where they were standing. Just another layer added on that keeps the fight interesting. I think this would be really cool to see and would make the game feel fresh. But those were 5 things I would love to be added in or changed in Classic WoW. Do you guys agree or disagree with me? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button, and if you want to see more from me, then hit that sub button. Make sure you have a great day, and peace. The mechanics side of things would be a huge bonus though, and could possibly